How am I about to talk you through a makeup tutorial when I don't even know my own routine? Oh no, should I start over? Oh my god, I think I need to start over. And I'm just like... So if you're here and you just want to see the Jeffree Star Bloodlust palette tutorial, I will leave a timestamp down below so you can go ahead and skip through to that. But if you want to see the whole shebang bang, you are in for a treat. I'm going to be doing my full face from start to finish. So let's get right into it, shall we? So for moisturizer slash primer today, I'm going to use the Embryloss moisturizer. And I'm just going to take like a pea size amount on my finger because it is very concentrated. And I'm just going to rub this in all over my face. Okay, so now we can move on to foundation. I'm going to be using the NYX Born to Glow foundation in the shade Medium Olive. I recently just gave myself a tan and it has a little bit of an olivey undertone, so I feel like now this will be like an absolutely perfect match for me, hopefully. So I'm just going to put a little bit of foundation or a lot of foundation on my face and blend it out with a Morphe M447 brush. This is way too much. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is way too much. Okay, I think I fixed this foundation situation. I wiped it all off my face and I'm just using whatever's left over on the brush now. And I would say that this is light to medium buildable coverage. I do like a full coverage foundation, but in the winter when my skin is really dry, I tend to go for a more like dewy hydrating foundation and it holds up really well. It doesn't slip and slide around. Blend that color up into your hairline, girl, blend it. I changed up my lighting situation a little bit because I feel like I was looking a little bit dark, so hopefully this looks better. Not too weird, but we're learning over here. We're doing our best. So next I'm moving on to concealer and I'm using good old Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Medium. Just gonna go ahead and paint over our bags. And I'm gonna go ahead and use a Cover FX liquid foundation brush. It's like a smaller kabuki brush. This has been my favorite to blend out my concealer lately. First I'm gonna tap it into the skin to really push the product in there and not like wipe it away. And then once the coverage is built up, I'll just go ahead and start blending it out. All right, I am looking like a glazed donut up in here, so we definitely have to move on to setting powder, and fast. I'm using the Jeffree Star translucent setting powder, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab that on a Morphe E49 brush. Guys, I just remembered a brush name for the first time without having to look at it. This is a very proud moment for me. It's just a nice, flat, compact, fluffy brush and it fits under the eye so easily. I'm gonna pack it the heaviest around my nose because that's where I get the most greasy. And I'm just putting it everywhere that I put concealer on my face just to mattify it down and set it a little bit because it is a very dewy foundation and heavy concealer. I don't want anything to budge. So now just taking a big old fluffy brush, I'm just gonna dust off the excess powder. So for bronzer today, I'm going to be using my favorite Kylie bronzer in the shade Almond. I use this bronzer all the time. And I'm going to be using a new brush that I've been liking to use lately. It's an e.l.f. blending brush and it's really tiny. I think it came in like a little kit that I got, but it fits like perfectly in your cheekbones to like contour them out. I realized I never pressed record, but yeah, I just started contouring. See how it's just kind of like a straight line? You don't have to go back in with setting powder and clean it up, like unless you want it to be like perfectly snatched. But this brush is great and I've really been enjoying it lately, so highly recommend. And it fits right underneath your neckline perfectly to chisel out your jaw. I haven't really been contouring my nose lately because it's been a little bit of an adventure for me since it's crooked and broken. So I'm just like trying to figure that out. So I'm not really gonna do much of a nose contour today besides this. Every time I do it, I feel like it looks different and like not good. So I'm just not gonna like pick something that is broken that's not gonna look better. So for blush today, I'm gonna be using the Jouer Blush Bouquet d'Amour. And I'm gonna use a Morphe E4 angled brush, and I think I'm gonna dip into the shade Know Me. Ooh, actually, I think I'm gonna dip into this shade Seduce Me because it has a little bit of a purple undertone. So I think that will go well with the look that I'm doing today because I could assume that I'm probably gonna do something with purple. And for blush, I like to tap it on first, starting on the apples of my cheeks and bringing it back into my contour, just to make sure that the color isn't too vibrant for me. And then I'll go back in and I'll start blending it together. So whatever's left over on my brush, I'll just dust it on my nose, across my forehead, just anywhere that I want to give a little bit of color back into my face. Okay, so one more step before the moment that you and I, trust me, me too, have all been waiting for. I'm just going to prime my lids with the P. Louise Rumor 3 base. This is an amazing eyeshadow primer to use under pigmented eyeshadows because it really covers up your whole lid and gives a nice blank canvas for you to work off of. So I'm just gonna squirt a pea-size amount onto my eyelid. And I'm gonna blend it out with this ColourPop F11 flat top concealer brush. And the best method to apply this is to pat it first, just to really pack on like an even layer before you start blending it out. I just switched brushes because that brush wasn't dense enough for me. It was kind of like not patting it on. And I'm not gonna set my eyeshadow base before I apply the eyeshadow because I want it to show up as pigmented as possible. So if you don't set it and you set it with your eyeshadow, it'll show up in its most true shade. I didn't prime this eye because I'm just doing my one eye on camera, otherwise we'd be here forever. ever. I am so excited right now. I have been waiting for this moment. I did watch Jeffree's video when he announced this palette and he like went through the whole collection, but I have not watched any other YouTubers' reactions about it, any other tutorials. So first of all, this is what the package looks like. And I love the fact that he didn't just call it like Purple Blood. He really came up with a really unique different name for this collection. Honestly, this looks like if you opened it, there would be like a diamond necklace or like something very expensive inside. I love the feel of this crushed velvet. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever held a palette that felt this luxurious before in my life. Out of the Blood Sugar, the Blue Blood, and this palette, I think that I would probably get the most use out of these shades. They just seem like shades that I would be comfortable wearing on a day-to-day basis. I have not looked up any other people's looks on Instagram. I have not watched any other videos. I'm not really sure where I want to go with this today. I think these two shades here, Wet Magic and Pink Jewel, these are his new formulas. I think it's like a pressed glitter. I'm just gonna swatch this for you guys. This is his new formula. It looks like glossy, like buttery. This is the green shade Sworn Enemy. Okay, I think I gathered up enough inspiration to create a look, and I think I'm gonna go for a nice little halo eye moment. I haven't washed my brushes in a while, so I don't really know what's clean and what's dirty, so I'm kind of like going like this to see like what comes off. So I think I'm gonna start off with this matte shade Vivid Mood just to put as my transition color in my crease. And like I said, I didn't set my eyeshadow base, so I'm just gonna tap it on first. Oh, that is a lot darker than I thought, but that is okay. We love Pigment the House. So once that color is all packed on, I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out in windshield wiper motions and flick it out towards the tail of my brow bone because I like to go for a more like elongated cat eye shape. So next I think I'm gonna take this shade High King and I'm gonna blend it out right on top of that first shade Vivid Mood that I put on my crease. This has more of a vibrant like pinky undertone. Just to brighten everything up a little bit, I want to add that shade right on top. So for my lid, I'm going to take this shade Blood Queen. It's a dark purple. And I'm going to take that on one of the Anastasia brushes that come with the palettes because I feel like it's a really good brush to pack on eyeshadow. I'm going to leave a little space in the center of my lid, but if it gets covered, it's fine. I'm just going to carve it out with some eyeshadow primer anyway, so if it gets covered, it's not that big of a deal. Wow, that is vibrant. That is bright purple. Other brands have no excuse. If Jeffree can create a vegan, cruelty-free formula that performs amazing, there's no reason why other brands can't do it. Honestly, I think this is one of like the best matte shades from him that I've ever used before. So just to blend this dark purple shade into my crease, I'm going to be using a Morphe M502 fluffy brush. And I'm just going to blend everything together. So now on the same brush that I used for my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to carve out the middle of my eyelid. It's okay if it gets a little bit messy because we're going to blend the edges together anyway, so it'll cover up any harsh lines. Right when I get to my crease, I'm just going to be really careful and kind of just like stamp the concealer. I would say halfway on my lid on one side and then halfway on the other. So it's shorter on the bottom and gets wider on the top. Hey, I forgot to press record again. So basically I finished carving out my lid and I brought you guys a little bit closer because I want you to see the magicalness that's about to happen on my eyelid right now. I'm gonna use a combination of the shade Pink Magic and Wet Jewel. So what I said before I realized that I didn't press record was I'm gonna put this shade on the majority of my lid and then I'm gonna kind of like ombre it out with the shade Wet Jewel. And I feel like with foiled shades or shimmer shades, a finger works best first just to really pack on the color and like get the most payoff at first. And then you could go back in with a brush and clean up the edges afterwards. So now I'm just taking the shade Wet Jewel on my other finger and I'm just putting that right on top of that other shade. Oh my god, yes, I'm so happy that I did that. It came out so good. I think I need to grab a brush because I can't get my fat finger in my crease. Guys, this is sick. Oh my god. This is hands down my favorite palette by him and probably the most wearable in my opinion and the one that I'll probably use the most. I'm just gonna blend the edges in a little bit more. I think just to take this shadow to the next level, I'm going to dip into the shade Pink Magic, the purple shade that I put on my lid, and then spray it with some setting spray just to get that really wet, slick, sparkly look. Okay, I think I'm just gonna do the other eye really quickly off camera, and then I will meet you back here to finish up the look. Okay, so now I have both eyes caught up to each other. So now I'm just gonna take a Morphe E36, it's a really tiny round brush, and I'm just gonna dip back into that shade High King. It's that purple with pink undertones. And I'm just going to tap it on my lower lash line just to brighten everything up because we do have a lot of purple going on. So I think something with a little bit of a pink hue would look really nice and brighten up underneath my eye. And then just to make everything come together and be really symmetrical, I'm just putting a little pop of that shade Pink Magic directly under where I put it on my lid. I'm just gonna put a little dot of it on my lower lash line. line. So I really don't want to take away from the eyeshadow look, so I don't think I'm going to do a winged liner today. I think I'm just going to really tightly line my lash line. I just want my lashes to match my natural lashes, and I'm just using the Soap & Glory Super Cat liner from the drugstore. Not doing anything special here, just making sure that my natural lashes blend with my falsies. And I think I'm just going to grab my ColourPop Beam Gel Liner Pencil in the shade Boots. It's a really vibrant pink, and I think I'm just going to use that to line my waterline. So I've been really into a bushy brow lately, and I've been trying to let my brows grow out naturally, and I really like to comb them up and feather them out. I'm just gonna take a spoolie and comb my brow hairs upward, and then I'm gonna fill them in with the Anastasia pigmented brow gel in the shade Ebony. Something that's really important when using a pigmented brow gel is to just scrape off the excess on the top of the jar. Otherwise, it's just gonna like leave streaks and like weird splotches on your eyebrows, which I constantly do, but just to minimize that, your best bet is to wipe it off. I'm just gonna start by brushing my eyebrow hairs upwards, starting from the tail of my brow, working my way forward. I want most of the color to go on the tail of my brow bone where the hairs are most sparse, and then work my way with whatever's left over on the inner corner of my brow. Honestly, I think this is the best job that I've ever done using this brow gel. I explained it like shit, but it came out really good. So to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone, I'm gonna dip into the Brain Freeze highlighter palette, and I'm gonna grab the shade Frozen Fruit. I can't really show you very well because this highlighter is falling apart. It's just a really nice pink, and it brightens everything up. I actually changed my mind. I'm not going to use the shade Frozen Fruit for my brow bone. I'm going to use the shade Gold Breaker. I'm going to go for something a little bit more neutral. And this is just a really tiny BH Cosmetics fluffy brush. And I'm just going to keep it really close to the brow bone because we do already have all that glitter on our eyelids. I already did my mascara because like that's boring and you probably know how to do that already. So I'm gonna pop on my Lily lashes in the style Faux Mink NYC. Why am I struggling right now? So for highlighter, I'm gonna use that same shade Gold Breaker. I wanna keep it a little bit more on the neutral side because we do have so much going on the eyes already, and I don't wanna take away from that. I'm just gonna grab my PC28 Peaches and Cream highlighter brush. I'm gonna dip into the shade Gold Breaker. Ugh, honestly, this highlighter never gets old. And then whatever's left over, I just kind of dust on my temples, on my forehead. So for lips today, I think I'm gonna use the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick in the shade Deceased. Honestly, my lips are so dry. I think I need to go use a lip scrub and then be right back because this is just too gross to put like a lipstick over. Okay, that is so much better. I feel so much better now about putting a matte lipstick on my lips. My lips are on the uneven side, so I have to give them a little bit more TLC. And then just to top it off, I'm gonna use a little bit of the Jeffree Star lip gloss in the shade Softcore Sparkle. I got it in my Valentine's Day mystery box, and it's an exclusive shade. And I'm just gonna use it on my Cupid's bow and on the center of my lip just to highlight it a little bit. I'm just gonna give myself one final spray of the Urban Decay setting spray because I don't want this makeup to go anywhere. I don't even want to wash my face at the end of the night. I am so obsessed with how this look came out. Like seriously, I can't even believe that I just did this on my face right now. This is probably my favorite palette that he's come out with like to date. I had so much fun making today's video. Honestly, this is my favorite thing to do, just to sit down and play with colorful makeup and create and use my artistic abilities. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and give this video a thumbs up if you love this look as much as I do. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.